Most people use Claude like a smarter search box. That is the slow way. If you set it up correctly, Claude becomes your creator operating system. It remembers how you work, organizes your ideas, turns messy notes into usable assets, and hands you the next task instead of waiting for you to think of the next prompt. In this video, I'm going to show you 12 moves that make Claude Desktop actually useful for creators and solopreneurs, not theory. The setup I would use if I wanted Claude to help me make videos, newsletters, offers, scripts, and content calendars without starting from scratch every day. Move 1. Use projects for organization, not magic. The first mistake is treating a Claude project like it will automatically understand your whole business. Use projects to separate work streams. One project for YouTube, one project for newsletters, one project for offers, one project for client delivery. That way, the conversation history and files stay focused. But do not assume the project itself is the whole system. A project is just the container. The real leverage comes from the instructions and files you put inside it. Move 2. Create a Claude operating file. For every serious project, create one operating file. Call it claude.md, project-rules.md, or creator-os.md. Inside that file, write the rules Claude should follow every time. Who the audience is, what the brand voice sounds like, what the output format should be, what the offer is, what Claude should avoid. This turns Claude from a blank chat into a teammate that knows the job. Move 3. Give Claude a folder system. Do not dump random screenshots, transcripts, notes, and links into one messy pile. Create simple folders. Source, scripts, brawl, assets, publishing. Now Claude can reason about the work like a production pipeline. For a video, source material goes in, source. The rewrite goes in, scripts. Screen recordings and animations go in, brawl. Final captions and titles go in publishing. That one folder habit saves a ridiculous amount of repeated prompting. Move 4. Turn messy ideas into clean briefs. Claude is very good at cleaning up your thinking. So stop trying to write perfect prompts. Drop in the messy idea, what you want to make, who it is for, why it matters, what examples you have. Then ask Claude to turn it into a production brief with hook, promise, outline, assets, risks, and next steps. This is where Claude starts feeling less like a chatbot and more like a producer. Move 5. Use Claude as a dispatcher. Here is the workflow shift. Do not ask Claude for one output. Ask Claude to split the job into roles: researcher, script writer, B-roll producer, editor, thumbnail strategist, publisher. Even if one Claude chat is doing the work, this makes the output sharper because each role has a clear job. For a video like this, I would ask Claude to create the source notes, then the original script, then the B-roll map, then the edit checklist. Move 6. Dictate first, polish later. If typing slows you down, dictate. Open a note, talk through the idea badly, ramble, repeat yourself, say the examples out loud. Then paste the transcript into Claude and say, turn this into a clear video outline. Keep my point of view, remove the repetition, make the examples concrete. That is often faster than trying to type the perfect script from scratch. Move 7. Make Claude schedule the work. A lot of creators fail because they do not know the next step. Claude can fix that. After it creates the brief, ask for a production schedule. Day 1, source and outline. Day 2, script and Hagen recording. Day 3, B-roll capture. Day 4, edit. Day 5, thumbnail, title, upload, and repurposing. Now, you are not managing a vague creative project. You are moving through a checklist. Move 8. Build reusable skills. If you do the same thing more than twice, turn it into a reusable Claude skill or checklist. For example, long form video prep, shorts repurposing, newsletter rewrite, offer page audit, thumbnail critique. The point is simple. Do not keep explaining your workflow to Claude every week. Write the workflow once, reuse it. Move 9. Use connectors and source context carefully. Claude gets much more useful when it has the right context, but that does not mean connecting everything. Only connect or upload what the task needs. For a video, that might be the transcript, your notes, a few example scripts, and the brand rules. For a newsletter, that might be the offer, audience notes, and previous emails. Context is fuel. Too much context is noise. Move 10. Make Claude produce design directions. Claude is not just for words. Ask it for visual systems. For example, what should the B-roll be? What should the intro card say? What should be shown on screen during this section? What should the thumbnail communicate in 1 second? Then use remotion or hyperframes to turn those directions into actual visuals. That is how you stop making videos that are just a talking head for 10 minutes. Move 11. Connect Claude to a knowledge base. Your best ideas should not disappear inside old chats. When Claude helps you create a good framework, save it. When it finds a strong hook, save it. When it writes a workflow you will reuse, save it. That is where Obsidian, a personal brain, or a project knowledge folder becomes useful. Claude helps you think. Your knowledge base helps you remember. Move 12. Clean up the system. The final move is boring, which is why it works. Clean up old files. Delete stale instructions. Archive finished chats. Remove examples that no longer match your voice. If Claude keeps using outdated context, it will produce outdated work. Your AI system needs maintenance the same way your content calendar does. Recap. Here is the simple version. Use projects to organize. Use an operating file to guide. Use folders to structure. Use messy notes as raw material. Use Claude as a dispatcher. Use reusable skills for repeated work. Use the right source context. Use remotion and hyperframes to turn ideas into visuals. And save the best workflows so you can use them again. That is how Claude stops being another tab and starts becoming your creator operating system. If you want my Claude Creator Setup checklist, comment Claude and I will send it to you.